Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 11 of Let's Play Hegemony III. And the first order of business is to actually take over Ateste. I think, just right now looking around, trying to scan all my cities again, I did find another one, Spina, which should give us another colonist. So we'll move them out. And then I think, what is it, Felsina? No, Mutna has the ability to give me another colonist. So as soon as they get me even just one charge, we'll just move them forward. We'll just move these colonists forward to the new bridge now. They'll be fine there. And let's actually take this city. There was one other... yes, this guy. So he is done capturing, so let's go ahead and move him into the food. Get some food for him. Could capture this. Actually, let's do that first. Just on our way over. And I think we are actually in sufficient shape to... I wish I knew how to actually choose where these units go. But that's okay. We'll just move that one forward, and we'll move this guy right next to him, because what I'm anticipating is that once he actually attacks there, he'll trigger the release of the enemy units. So, are we... oh, we're right on the edge of the food there. That's fantastic, actually, to know. Okay, we're sieging. That should trigger... something. There it is. Right on cue. Okay, so we have these guys on range. Let's have them take out... It's actually a good question. I think they were taking damage. That explains it. I wasn't watching, but there was probably some invisible missiles hitting them. Now these guys will be locked into combat. That's fine. I'm pretty confident the hoplites will destroy, just utterly destroy the peltists. So let's just go ahead and focus on the skirmishers. In fact, these guys are even in, that's awesome, we're actually in recruitment range. So let's have these guys load up food while they're doing that. That's basically going to supply the other units with food. And then let's move them forward so that we can try, if we can here, to actually... I'm going to change the stance of these guys to skirmish. And what I want is to be able to conquer these guys the moment they break, which should be very quickly here. There it is. So hopefully we can conquer those guys. Alright, so I'm going to just send the axemen after these guys and have these hoplites go ahead and engage the peltists. That's what these axemen are mainly good for, besides loading food to conquer or to share with the other people. And we can see that Ateste is going to be a relatively easy city for us to conquer. I think you're locked in combat, but I would like you to actually capture that unit. Okay, well, it wasn't too bad. So let's get these guys in the skirmish mode at this point. You conquer this one in skirmish mode, and you conquer that one in skirmish mode. So we can all do work here, boys. Alright, we have a bandit attack coming from the south. Well, that's good. I did leave this unit here specifically to defend against such an occasion. I would like to run another axeman down. Is this guy the closest axeman? It looks like he is. By the way, has he been upgraded? Okay, well, let's start making these axemen into marksmen. Because now with the advent of my hoplite era, I really only need these axemen to be doing range damage. I mean, if I want to engage in melee with the axemen, it's usually a situation where we've already won. So let's go ahead and get this guy to move down and put this guy into phalanx mode. He already is. Spectacular. What I think I'll do is I'll move back. Let's see, they're going to go here. So I'll move back a little bit, do something like this, just to try to buy these axemen a little more time to get there. Now it is a hoplite, but the raider hoplites only have 30, and I have 50, so we should easily win that. But they probably are going to come with, I'm imagining, a group of slingers. We'll find out soon. Okay, now let me go back up here. We'll return to that in a second. We're capturing units. That's excellent. Why are these guys not being captured? Okay, good. So we'll be getting some slaves here. I'll just send them into the bridge for now. It's kind of a safe point. And then we'll continue we'll renew our siege of Ateste. Okay, capturing units, but they are not appearing. Alright, we'll send this guy over to deal with the Peltis over here. That should be easy. And we have enemy units. Ah, the Insubres. What are the Insubres? I am quite curious. If I select them. They are Gallic. Okay, so those guys are from the north. They have larger brigade size, which could be troublesome. Flooded marsh movement. I guess that means that during the flooded marsh times, which is winter and spring, or is it just spring? I don't know. And recruitment rate. Well, the recruitment rate can actually not be... I mean, it's a hard thing for conquering them, because when they lose their units, they resupply them really quickly. But it also means it's a fresh supply of slaves. And you guys are over here. Ah, well, I conquered this, so let's go ahead and take the slaves out, put them in the bridge as well. And let's move this axeman over to get supplied. And let's keep the colonists over here for the time being. Colonist, and colonist. That's all 4. I think that's the 4 I need for Ateste, considering the population of the city is 4. Okay, alternative salaries. That's an interesting proposition at this point, because I might actually need it. You know what, I'm just going to do it. I don't want to have to deal with these guys. I don't know what they're up to. So let's find alternative salaries and pay the bribe. 106, boom, those guys are gone. Sweet. Excellent. We'll get some slaves from this group, which is a slinger with the hoplites. But I'm not worried, because I'll have my axemen there soon enough. And we'll want them to come this way, because we'll want them to charge behind to get to the slingers. And this is the multitasking war, which I face. Let's have the... So one of these guys was sent off that way, right? Yeah, they're gone. Who is actually capturing this unit? I think it's the axemen, but I'm not sure. Okay, well, whoever it was, let's send this guy here. And yeah, actually, let's let them retreat. What happened there is I did capture them, but they immediately broke again because they're too close to the enemy units. So I'll move this guy back, I'll load him up with some more food, and we'll just spend a little bit of time capturing these units. The faster you capture them, so these guys are down to 3 now. They were probably at 5 or something before. I'm actually going to prioritize this unit because this one has 9, and before it drops any lower, so that you can see this unit's just running out. It's down to 1, it's down to 0. So let's take the easy one. Oh. Are they going after this guy? Well, hey, buddy, I need you to kind of don't get involved here until you get some food. As soon as you can load some food, okay, now you can go ahead and get involved. But really, with the hoplites are charging, you don't need to do anything. Just don't do anything. Because I don't want you to break. If they take any kind of morale damage at this point, I think they'll just break. So let's retreat them back over here a little bit. Hopefully looks like they survived the volley from the Peltis, and now the Peltis are locked in with my hoplites, and that should be an easy battle. Great. Let's hope these slaves don't retreat. Let's kind of route them down a little bit. Oh, is this Etruscan farm populated now? No, not quite yet. I should have a group of workers. There's the workers. These guys are coming up to actually populate this livestock farm. Good. That's all good. And more colonists coming over. That's fantastic. Alright, everything looks good right now. This battle is probably, well, it's already begun. These slingers are pelting away, but we're still winning the battle overall. We'll just, these guys are in skirmish mode, charge the skirmishers directly. It looks like they are preemptively trying to engage my axemen. That's very foolish. So let's turn, if the battle's already won here, which I guess it is, where it's 112 versus what? 69, yeah, and they have like a third the number of troops I have. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to skirmish mode. This could cost me a little bit. I have to be careful about the recruit pool in Adria. However, I did just build a recruit station, so we're not doing bad, about half the number we need. I did also switch over one to minimal food, good, good. And we do want food to go up, up, up because it's winter. Winter is coming, and the now famous expression, thanks to whatever that HBO show was. Winter is coming. It is true. It's kind of a true statement no matter what you say, unless you're actually in winter. Then the only true statement is winter is here. Actually, you could just be talking about the next year. Winter is coming again next year, so yeah. One of those statements that doesn't really mean anything, but somehow means a lot. Okay, I accidentally sent my axemen forward. Let's regroup over here. Okay, 4 slaves. I'll still bother with taking them. Let's get all these guys loaded up with food supplies again. And this is kind of how you harvest slaves too, just if you were curious. They will continuously regenerate the units here. If I go back to Ateste, we can see that they're already about at half strength for these 2 units. This is the one I just killed. And they'll continue to generate this, regenerate their units pretty quickly. What I can do is just keep conquering them and getting more slaves. But we've already have our Ravenna slave market, which is flourishing. 23 slaves, we could get another one here. I think this is the last one we need. Let's get one more and actually demolish this. And build a market just to really rake in the money here. And we have quite a few things actually building, so I should slow down a little bit. No, nothing there. Okay, well I say that, but it looks like a lot of things have finished now. Yeah, that one's at 62. And I haven't even built anything in Parma. I think the next round of upgrades, considering our money is in pretty good shape, should be to start building wooden walls. At least, I would say at least for, maybe for Adria and Parma, since these are the 2, actually I don't really know. I'll have to think about that off camera probably at the end of this episode, which one should I actually supply with walls. Okay, for the time being, let's continue with our assault on Ateste. I do not want to finish this episode without having it. Okay, we defeated Raider Hoplites. That's good. Let's conquer those guys. And we're really just about to beat the... It's perfect timing. These guys are in... No, they're in skirmish mode. Go, quickly, quickly! Okay, they stopped. It's always nice when they, for some reason, just stop. Quick capture. Okay. They've broken from combat. Alright. Let's send these units. We'll make this livestock farm my new rally point for slaves, because I will have some extra slaves coming from this farm very soon. Now, this farm has now been occupied by slaves. I think it was slaves, right? It was. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's connect this supply line to here and cancel this one. So we are kind of slowing down the supply trickle from this to this camp, but that's not a critical camp. This is more the critical supply path. All right, and we can also merge some slaves over here. We're up to 17. That's good. Oh, that was interesting. It said fording. Ah, okay, the bridge is fording. I suppose that's what it means. Okay, let's see. Is there any... This is 1 unit. No, it's still 4. So it's weird. Sometimes the units, the slaves decrease, and sometimes the slaves stay constant. I have a feeling it's something to do with if the unit is actually being replenished in the city that's the home city. In this case, I think because the other 2 units are recruiting first, that they don't actually have any units being recruited from this, which would draw from this slave pool. That's just a guess, though. I don't know for sure. Speculation. Pure speculation. Looks like we'll finally capture that guy, though, which is nice. Okay, well, what are we waiting for? Oh, I am waiting for... Does that mean that Adria is a little low on recruits? Did you finally... No, you're doing fine. And really, I think the training ground 2, it'll cost, what? 20 now. It'll cost an additional 30. 400 wood is probably more prohibitive, but the XP for new units plus 500, I would really like that. Okay, well, let's not even queue it up quite yet, because I did have some other stuff preparing, right? Yeah, I have a market down here, which I want to finish. That would be nice. If I'm not mistaken, I had a slave thing. Yeah, 68 over there. Okay, so here we see that wood does end up being a lot of times one of the slowdown things. You know, for the end game, you really want wood. It ends up being one of the determining factors of how quickly you can expand or upgrade things. So, finally got this guy. Alright, we'll throw him into the bridge of slaves. Put this guy back. And have these guys been equipped yet? 40. And I'm not sure why they are not recruiting. Technically, Atria is supplied all the way around. I mean, we're in autumn. Can we just do this? No. So I'm totally confused by what... Oh, is the Flooded Marsh every season except for summer? Does that mean this one's also not valid? Yeah, okay. So it is not valid in autumn, and I guess it's not valid in spring. Maybe it's actually valid in winter. They consider it frozen. I don't know. But 2 seasons, especially if autumn is one of them and spring is the other, are significant enough that I probably don't want to try to use supply lines that go through... I mean, for those 2 seasons, if they don't work, it's not worth it for me to do. So we'll do this little workaround that we've done already. And because I'm a little impatient, what I'll do is... These guys might even be taking continuous damage, although I don't see how. Let's go ahead and once again siege and get these axemen into position for the inevitable fight that will happen right after that. Okay, so we have 20 and 20. Let's go ahead and connect that and go up to 50. Good, from 132 to 150, because this one costs 2. And here we go again, another fight. That's probably what was happening, is we were taking damage continuously from the ranged units here. Let's see if that was the case. Okay, so they're out again. This happens basically indefinitely. I'm not even worried about capturing the slaves in this time, because I think we just have to dwindle their pool down. Yeah, it's down to 0 now, so they shouldn't be able to recruit more units. If we do this and we do this, what happens? Okay, is it worth... Yeah, 2 slaves. Well, they just immediately vanish. Let's go ahead and attack with this unit as well. As soon as this one's done, we'll throw him into the fray. He should easily slaughter the peltis. For some reason he's not. There it is. Okay, we have 3 units in position. Let's get these riflemen back up. Axemen back up. They'll bring a fresh supply of food as well. And it looks like we should be able to take Ateste with no problems. And what do we have here? We have 3 colonists. Let's move those forward, but I should have a 4th. There's the 4th. I suppose colonists are pretty slow moving as well. Let's move into position. Okay, good. So we have more combinations here. 1 slave is complete. Let's go ahead and upgrade this camp to a living quarters, and I'll send this completed slave unit over there. Okay, that's fair enough. Looks like our food situation has finally corrected itself. Okay, then this is the funny thing that happens. We capture Ateste, but it immediately begins to rebel. That's the reason for that is we need a garrison to make it not do that. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is connect it so that it's part of my supply lines. Next thing I'm going to do is decrease the... Oh, or in this case, yeah, increase, but this was at moderate before when the enemy controlled it, but now that it's mine, I'm just going to put it to minimal, like I put for all of my cities, minimal. Should spread the food around evenly to all the cities. Next thing I'm going to do is just put in at least... Oh, wow, this guy can definitely be upgraded. Marksman and Marksman 2. Excellent. And I think after Marksman 2, what I typically do is 1 in defense. Because when there's a ranged battle, defenses end up being very important. But typically these guys won't be engaging in any kind of combat. They'll be behind the front lines. So let's just throw all my units in here. Okay, actually, let's throw the damage unit in. And we'll send this guy off to capture... Okay, we'll send both the axemen off to capture some more slaves. That would be very useful. So let's send these 2 guys like so. And this isn't ours, but I would like to own it soon. And we'll just let the rest... That should take care of our problem. So the garrison should help. Our real... This morale will drop to our real morale eventually, which now is 105. It was 60 there, but now it's 105. But all we need to do is bring in enough colonists, and we should be able to change this city. from, if we rest our cursor, it says in the bottom right over here, Phoenitic city controlled by North Etruscans, but we'll be able to change the culture. As soon as we come in here, we can do this colonize button down here after we have enough colonists. So let's just go ahead and wait for that to happen. So currently you can see the culture. The good thing about having it in the wrong culture is I could recruit, if I wanted, some peltasts, which are pretty good. However, I'm eventually going to have archers, and I would just prefer the cities to be mine. Plus, I've been talking about this little now fixed bug for a while, so let's just do that, and then we'll be able to save and update, and everything will be good. So it looks like we are really pissing off the Venetians. Not that I really care. They're wary of me, which is good. That means my military strength or my total assets somehow, whatever calculation is done for intimidation, is greater than theirs. So the Umbria are pretty tough, it looks like. They're unconcerned. They have almost double my military or whatever point strength system is used to calculate the points here. And the Insubres, they're just a little bit stronger than me, but I'm not concerned. Especially with this really exploitive use of slaves and alternative salaries. All these things are just really playing into my hands here, so. Okay, we have a colonist in here. That could explain, I think I have 5 colonists then. No, was he just one of this group? Because I saw this group decrease slightly. Well, basically, folks, we want you to go into the city here, if you don't mind. That's what I actually want out of you. Okay, good. This food, I don't know what our food maximum is, but I'm assuming it's a lot bigger than 1600, because one of these cities is what? A stockpile of around 600 each. So I should have a total of like, what do I have? 6 cities now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should have at least a stockpile of 4,200 available. I'm not even at a third of that. So we'll have to do a little bit work on the food front. Maybe I'll even just keep this farm. It's a good question. What's the best thing to do here? We have our supply of colonists moving in. There's the last colonist I think I need. Let's just shove him right in there. Okay, how are things going down here? I know I have some slaves. Good. Okay, some more slaves. Lots of slaves here. Okay, I know this one has... Well, here, we have 5 slaves there, so this is our slave rally point, I remember saying. Let's put all these slaves into this one, and I'll be able to run the 2 workers that are currently in here into something like the lumber mills or, you know, food. I don't know. I don't know where they'll go, but, oh, I do know that they are not needed where they are right now. What I could do also with these when I get my wood supply back up a little more is I probably don't ever want the food situation to be more like working it with double, but I may want to just do the plus 50% production. Although it is possible that it will be better like on a per gold, like because supply lines are gold, on a per gold situation, it might be better to double these to 40 out of 40. If I have so many slaves that I no longer care, like, okay, so we have what, 100 here. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Let's do the same trick. Destroy this building, build market, instantly upgrade. Great, so that's pretty cool. We got our 5 slaves, which is way more than we need. So let's also upgrade this to a living quarters. Put 2 slaves in here because I think it's currently a worker. It is. And this is the mechanic you abuse with the slave trade. It's very, very gamey. I don't... okay, I'm using it because it's in there, but if you wanted to play a really hard game, you could have like house rules where you don't do that. So good, this has been an excellent episode. We've conquered Ateste like I really wanted to. We're capturing a ton of slaves. We did the slave market trick to get a bunch of slaves. I think Longbow Games will catch on to that eventually and change it if it's not I'm pretty sure it's not changed in the upcoming patch, or the patch which is now already released that I'm not playing on quite yet. Actually, now that I've done the Ateste, I haven't quite gotten to the colonization bit. So after next episode, I suppose I'll actually update to the newest version, and then we'll continue on our Let's Play of Hegemony III with the North Etruscans. So we're really starting to carve out a real place in the Italian peninsula for ourselves. And this is the point at which I think the game starts to snowball ahead. So that's my kind of closing comment, that we're picking up momentum, and at this point, because you can see our gold is so much higher, we're at 230, we could recruit like another 5 hoplite units. So at this point, we're really doing well with gold, and everything could just kind of snowball out of control for us. We'll play, I'm not sure I'll play this Let's Play all the way through to complete conquest of Italy. I'm sure that won't be, because things kind of get a little tedious towards the end, but we'll try to capture maybe all of the Venetians, maybe fight against the Umbri, maybe actually kill the Senones. Who knows? But in any case, that's enough for this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.